And we're live. So, what's up, friendly neighborhood nerds?
That's how you're going to start the first fucking show of the year?
What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? It's 2021. And we all survived. And I really apologize to everyone. I did not deliberately look like Ted Cruz today. It was completely an accident.
Holy shit.
Completely an accident. I got this shirt for Christmas, and I haven't been shaving because I'm in the middle of a move. And somehow, and I've gained a lot of weight this last year, so somehow the stars all aligned, and now I look like fucking Ted Cruz. So
very nice.
Is what it is. We got some awesome guests today. We have Gavin Smith. Gavin, you want to go ahead and say hi?
Hey, everybody.
The artist of Dead Legends. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Gavin. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. I draw Dead Legends for Away Blue World, which so happens to be right here. It's volume 1. I'm literally at the end of I see the light at the end of the tunnel for volume 2. There's like 3 pages left and I'm done. And then I've done a bunch of other stuff. I go to a lot of conventions. Done some stuff for heavy metal. I've worked on Ghost in the Shell and etc. I graduated Kubert School like 10 years ago. That was cool. Yeah. I like making comics. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
We're happy to have you here. How's working for heavy metal? Who was was it Tim Seeley, editor-in-chief, when you were doing that? Or
yeah, he was editor-in-chief, but I didn't work with Tim then. I mean, I know Tim. I see him all the time. We're both Midwest guys, so we see each other at a lot of the same shows.
Oh, right on.
But I was working with Frank Forte was my editor for that. And it's funny because Joe Illidge was my editor for Dead Legends, and he edited Volume 1 and Volume 2, and then he just made the jump to heavy metal like as he finished up editing with us for Volume 2. So I think right as my heavy metal story came out, which was in past February, he announced that he was going full time. So I was already working with him, but I just missed working with him there too. Which is
right on.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We also, I would be remiss if I didn't also mention the great David Pepose over here.
Hi.
You guys have probably seen him before on this show, but right now you're working on Scout's Honor's coming out very soon, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be coming out this Wednesday. Actually, first issue drops from Aftershock. It's the story of a post-apocalyptic cult whose Bible is an old Boy Scout manual. So it's Mulan meets Fallout with a little bit of Hunger Games and Handmaid's Tale thrown in for good measure. Working with artist Luca Casalanguida from Lost Soldiers and James Bond. Just a terrific artist. And I'm very excited. First issue comes out this Wednesday. And who'd have thought that overthrowing dystopian regimes would be in vogue right now?
It's really hot at the moment.
I like how you take innocent childhood things and corrupt them.
I guess that's my brand.
Or make them badass. That's how you look at it.
Somebody described my work the other week as filling in the gaps of continuity. And I'm like, that's a very charitable way of saying that I ruined your childhood. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, excited to chat about this book because despite not having grown up in a cult, the book is surprisingly personal and maybe even a little autobiographical. So,
dope. If you need a sensitivity reader, let me know because I did. So,
grew up in a cult. Nice.
Hey, we have another guest joining us. I'm about to add him to the stream.
Rich.
Rich, how's it going?
What up?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Real quick before we proceed, how is your last name pronounced? I'm terrible with
Douek.
Douek?
No problem. Douek.
Yeah. Awesome. I've been kind of you ask Robo, I've kind of haven't been able to shut up about Sea of Sorrows lately. It's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, completely
Thanks, man.
love it. Yeah, and Alex Cormack's work is also like stunning. I love that like that type of isolation horror that you get in like somewhere like space or the ocean. That's really cool.
Yeah, we're like when we talk about like what influenced us a lot with the story is like The Thing and Alien, which are both like stories where there's like nowhere to run, nowhere to hide really, but yeah, just a matter of time while you're getting hunted down. So yeah, but Alex does an amazing job. Like I don't think the books would be the same with like different artists. Like he's just perfect for them.
It is pretty awesome. So now we have everyone here. Real quick, just around the room. What have you guys been nerding out on lately? And kind of a all-encompassing question. Obviously comics, but TV, movies, normal books with no pictures. Which I don't.
I'll tell you what.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I'll go first because it's gonna be the quickest. I haven't done a damn thing. Like I'm gonna contribute nothing but my beautiful face to this show today because I'm just gonna be like, oh, that sounds good. I gotta get that. I'm finally in here. I don't know. My son's playing on our TV that's on the floor behind me. You might hear the echo a little bit. I'm finally in Georgia. I do have a comic book store. It's a great little place. Didn't make it there this week, so I'm really interested in hearing what you guys are reading and what I should be reading. What do I need to go catch up on since I'm finally in place?
David, let's hear it.
Oh man, I feel like this has been a crazy time of year myself. Just fulfilling my Kickstarter for the OZ and raising a new puppy and getting ready for Scouts Honor. Trying to think what I've been watching lately. We've had to kind of socialize our dog to television. She's only 15 weeks old, so I just did a big long Scrubs rewatch.
Yeah.
That's not like the coolest thing in the world.
It is. It is the coolest. I love Scrubs.
I've been rereading Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated. I've been catching up on that lately, and that's been an interesting read. I'm only, I think, through the first part, the first like couple of issues, but it's been pretty fun so far.
Morrison run has Dick Grayson Batman, right? Or
that is post Bruce's return.
And Robin. I think.
So so Batman
Right.
Inc. is when Bruce came back and decided he was going to privatize Batman all around the world.
That's right.
So yeah, interesting stuff. I think that run got a little truncated with the New 52, from what I remember the first time I read it. Oh, and I guess the X-Men books. I know that's a cheat, but I feel like those have been the books that have really gotten me through quarantine.
You reading all of them? Like
Yeah.
as far as like the Dawn of X run, you're reading all those titles?
I've been reading them. I've been reading the only ones I've missed some of Hellions and some of X Factor, but those core original titles I've been trying to stay up to date on, and yeah, those are fun. I really like those books, and that's a crew that I'm jealous of how talented they are, but I'm very excited and inspired every time I get to read their work.
Nice.
Awesome. So, Rich, what have you been nerding out on lately?
I've been like reached like a whole other level of nerdiness because I've been really into getting back into Warhammer lately. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's just like painting models mainly because I don't really play the game with anybody. But I used to paint the models when I was younger, and I with so much time on my hands, I just wanted something that was completely offline and completely anything to do with writing or anything like that. So it's just sort of become a hobby for me. So I've been painting a lot of those little dudes. Actually been enjoying Kieran Gillen's comic for it that just started with Marvel.
Eternals?
I think there's 3 issues out of that. No. They're actually doing a Warhammer 40,000 comic. So
shit.
that's been really cool to read. So been reading that. Comics-wise, been really liking Department of Truth by James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons. It's just an amazing book, really good. And what else? We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Al Ewing does that over at Boom. That's a really good book. It's kind of funny. I swing back and forth. I'll do I'll get into indies for a while, and almost Marvel and DC stuff. Then something Marvel and DC will catch my eye, and I'll be all into that. But I'm just trying to be in indie mode right now, so I'm digging a lot of the Image and Boom and Vault output. So
I'm so intrigued by Warhammer 40K. I've never been into it before, but I feel lately I just keep I know that Dan Abnett writes a lot of the novelizations.
Yeah, he does.
And I know, and the figures look so cool. And then I just watched I've been watching YouTube videos about it just because it's something I'm curious about, but I don't even know where to start. It looks too big.
They're super cool, but it is kind of disappointing because when you first get started, because it's you're looking at all these photos of these beautifully painted things, and then you buy it and it's just gray plastic, and you realize you have to paint it yourself.
Yeah.
Or you could just have a gray army.
Yeah, or I guess you can hire somebody to do it, but I don't know. There's just something about zen about it. When I'm doing it, I can sort of I don't even check my phone. It's the one thing I do that I'm not checking my phone constantly while I'm doing it. I just put it down, pick up my paints, and just get into it. So I mean, I think it's fun. And
I was gonna give D&D a go, and that's what happened to me. They wanted me to get a little figurine, and I'm looking at all these kind of deals. I'm all right, let me try to get one, and then it came gray.
Yeah.
And then I realized I had to paint it, and I was like, it just stayed gray. So that's all.
We're gonna get to the chat in a moment, but Gavin, what have you been what have you been nerding out on lately?
So I've been drawing a lot for my book, so I haven't had a great chance to read a whole lot, but I usually have something on. So let's see. This week I watched. I killed the new Cobra Kai season in 6 hours.
We're still in the spoiler window.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but it's
I can't
dope.
believe he died though. That was crazy.
I know.
Hey.
I can't.
Come on.
I can't believe Hilary Swank just murdered all those children.
Does she come back? Does the next Karate Kid come back? Tell me that doesn't.
No. But Alpha Elite does, which was the villain in the next Karate Kid, the villain gang in the Karate Kid. Yeah, it was called the Alpha Elite, and it's fucking hilarious because I don't know if you remember the next Karate Kid. It was a group of high schoolers that acted as a sports team, security guards, risk-taking daredevils. For some reason, Coach said it was okay for them to bungee jump during prom. It was, and anyway, also police and assassins. For some reason, they're all high school kids. Anyway, so I finished up that. I also watched this show that just got added to HBO Max, which I devoured, which was called Warrior, which is basically a pitch that Bruce Lee came up with before he died, and then Shannon Lee is executive producer on it, and she got it made at Cinemax of all places, and HBO Max just put it up, and that's dope. There's only 2 seasons of it, and I think it got canceled when quarantine started, so when COVID, started getting some legs under it.
Yeah.
I think now that it's on HBO Max, there might be a season 3 coming. Who knows? But
I'm assuming martial arts and all that.
Oh yeah, very martial arts heavy. Which which it helps me since my book is a very martial arts heavy book. What if I'm watching something like-minded to what I'm working on?
Yeah.
And I steal a lot of screenshots.
Yeah.
That. What else have I been watching? Oh, right now I'm watching. I just started the Snowpiercer show. So I'm on the 2nd episode of that.
Michael Malone was just talking about that in the chat.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
I full screen, so I'm not seeing the chat, so you don't have to worry about spoiling it. So, so comics during this whole, nice. But
Snowpiercer dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, no. the snow gets pierced.
yeah. Oh shit. Comics wise, during this quarantine season, I've went back and reread Morrison's JLA run, which is some of my favorite comics of all time.
Damn,
So
two
good.
guys reading Morrison.
Oh, I
here.
fucking love Morrison. He's so good. I can say fuck, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, I phrased that within my question.
Golly gosh, you can.
Morrison's JLA run is the run where Superman is like blue with electricity.
Hell yeah. He's the one that made
man.
Blue Superman cool. It's so
my
cool.
God.
When Morrison writes that Superman. Because there was a lot of things going on back then that they just kind of like, in main continuity, they just threw at him. Like in the middle of his run, like there was a bit where like he couldn't use Flash and Wonder Woman because Flash was injured and Wonder Woman became Hippolyta for a little bit. It was weird. But what else? Oh, I've been reading Witchblade Omnibus that I got for Christmas, so I'm doing a deep dive into that right now.
I heard that's really good.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for informing me. I didn't know.
Thank you.
Yeah, Morrison's pronouns were they them. And then I've newer comics that I've been reading. I just read issue 2 of Crossover, which was good. Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw, and 7 to Eternity, which is like my favorite book coming out right now. Jerome
You said 7 to Eternity?
Yeah.
7 to Eternity, yeah.
Okay.
Jerome Opinion recommender.
Dope.
I've picked up I've been picking up 7 to Eternity, but I haven't started reading it yet because I still need to go back and get like the first 2 issues. But I'm stoked to dig into that.
It is kind of it seems like it's a lot until you realize it's like sci-fi 310 to Yuma. And then you start having a lot of fun with it, and then it goes on its own direction. But I feel like that's what the first volume is. And game wise, I restarted playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like online or the campaign?
just the main game by myself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was thinking about just like books and stuff, but
Yeah.
But playing games, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you, Cyberpunk 2077.
I've watched my friends play it online. Like Tyler Boss does a stream of it, and that's pretty funny watching it glitch out on him.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it super shitty super shitty release. But
Does it show promise like after the patches and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I beat it, and then once all my stuff gets here and I have my PC and stuff, I'll buy it again on the PC and play through. But I really enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077, and I played on a legacy PS4, so it definitely was crashing.
I heard it had a lot of problems.
So bad.
I've been playing it. I got a PS4 Pro, and like a couple of crashes and stuff, but overall, I've been enjoying it. Like it is like a fun game, and if you're like you're like a fan of like the cyberpunk genre or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the patches.
I'll wait in 6 months.
There's a ton of stuff that like needs fixing and could have been done a lot better. Like there's a lot of stuff that's just sort of like head scratching where you're like, really, like this is the best you guys could do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like when you're pull out a katana and like slice your way through a cybernetic street gang or whatever. It is fun.
Yeah.
I have been enjoying it.
Yeah, see, like that reminds me too much of my regular life. So like, I kind of want to escape.
For sure. Yeah. Like when I was playing the game, I was thinking to myself like, this is Judah Radd's life, and I kind of felt like insecure with myself, knowing I was playing a video game that was really just you. And
they didn't even consult with me. That's the thing,
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's awesome. So I want to get into like talking about comic book news items, but first I'm going to talk about what I've been nerding on. So as far as what I'm following currently, comic-wise, like I as well am reading crossover.
So good.
I would say a good chunk of what I read right now is Donny Cates. Reading crossover, reading Venom and King in Black. I'm not getting all the tie-ins because I just don't do that anymore. It's just too.
Seems like, oh man,
it's too much.
That's like another job.
Right. Yeah.
Catch up with
You need to work a second job to afford all of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. If I hear about a tie-in to a big event that's like you gotta read it, then maybe I'll check it out. But those days of me going down the line and getting everything with the imprint are behind me.
But are you picking up the mains though?
I am picking up the mains. I mean, I love Venom. I'm gonna I'll read Venom no matter what, and I am picking up the mains. I think crossover 3 is coming out. It's not dropping tomorrow. It's not dropping this week. I think it's the next week after. I got to double check on that. But I know that Venom 32 is coming out, and I'm excited. It's fun to read that. So, yeah.
Did you finish The Office?
No, I ran out of time. I was on season 8, and I ran out of time.
So good.
It is a good show.
Is anybody else here The Office? Watch The Office? No?
Yeah. I've seen it way too many times.
Yeah.
No, there's no such thing. It's so
it's one of those things where like my wife and I'll be going to bed. It's just like,
but on the
all right, are we starting The Office again? Like in a random season? Like we'll start it like, I don't know, like let's start episode 13, season 4 or something like that.
It's like comfort food. It's like when you like.
It is
when you want
when
you want something that like you're gonna enjoy, and like you don't want to like pay 100% attention to what you're watching. Like
it's pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
That is perfect, because pepperoni pizza I can eat until I puke, and then tell myself I'm kind of tired of it, but then in a week I'm like, I can go for some pizza.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it a lot. I mean, it's a funny show. I don't know why I slept on it before. And it's like my favorite show of all time is Curb Your Enthusiasm. So it's kind of Curb's great. And it's kind of like the same kind of awkward, like, what's that German word for when you're enjoying someone else's
Schadenfreude?
Very Schadenfreude show. So I'm enjoying that. I'm trying to read all of Hickman's X stuff, or all of the Dawn of X stuff, but I'm not reading them as they come out. I'm like waiting, and I'm trade waiting. So I'm reading a couple of trades right now.
I tripped and fell on that. You saw me every time we would go to Dragon's Lair. I was like getting this one. I tripped, I fell, I smashed my face into the ground. I was just like, I can't do it, and I'm just gonna wait for the omnibus. I'll just get the whole thing and sit one day.
It's too much. I agree. I mean, but the stuff it is good though. And I'm reading Sea of Sorrows, Rich, which is awesome. I
read the first issue. I got the second issue on my stack back there, but nice. I promise I'll read it, Rich.
I know you will, Gavin.
I think the second issue is definitely the best issue so far.
The breast issue.
Well, I mean, like, I know
mermaid action in that.
I know I'm like biased, but like, this is one series where like I think every issue just gets better and better and better. Like we really things just like ramp up. Like, it's been kind of like a little bit of a slow burn starter because we want to build that tension and stuff. And then 3 is where things really start to turn. And then issues 4 and 5 are just like
horrifying.
You're going to blow your mind. Like I don't even want to like broach it because I don't want to spoil it.
You mentioned
really good. Yeah.
You mentioned Aliens earlier, and one of the themes that I love about Aliens is that whole like, so there's the aliens, but who are the real monsters? Is it the aliens or is it the fucking people?
Yeah.
And I'm definitely seeing some of those elements in Sea of Sorrows as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a big part of Road of Bones too. The previous one, which was sort of like what's worse, like the people or the creature. And I think that's like, we like to talk about Sea of Sorrows as almost like a spiritual sequel to Road of Bones because they both deal with like a lot of the same themes, and that's like the major one is like,
we lost David.
people can be just. Oh, we did. Shoot.
Yeah, I don't know where David went.
He was
Hopefully he
like,
comes back.
yeah. I wonder if he had like a connection problem or something.
Yeah. Or he's
You want me
just
to-
sick of all of us. He's just like,
Hey,
fuck
Yeah,
this.
he's just
This is
he's just
boring
like,
as shit.
too far.
He's like, I don't want to hear about this.
I hate that book.
Yeah.
Hey, Judy, you want me to do a quick transition for you?
A transition?
Yeah,
What kind
yeah. I'm gonna go through the chat real quick, and then you'll hit it off with the news.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so we got Michael Malone in the chat. Our one of our favorite admins, definitely my favorite admin, whose name starts with M. Yeah,
Mickey's
there's no
gonna
other
be here
admin.
disappointed.
Aramis Murad, the architect from our Discord. Welcome. Daniel Calban, Sketchy got hands. So don't fuck with him because he has hands. Comics will break your heart. I don't know if you're still in the room.
I thought it was sketchy goth hands at first, and I was like, what are goth hands?
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's what I thought too. When I first saw him, I was like, sketchy goth and on sketchy got hands. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I knew that. Comics break your heart. What's up? What's going on? Ace, our favorite Stan. Hello, you handsome folks, and Judah. Judah's usually pretty handsome, but today he
Ted Cruz.
He decided to come dressed as Texas' worst ever senator ever. Danny M, and he's also the what's that killer? The Kodiak killer, right? Zodiac.
Kodiak killer though. He just goes after a certain type of bears.
Yeah. so Danny M says he's waiting for a PS5 restock. I actually was able to get a really nice surprise from my son. There's a couple Twitter links. DM me if you want them, if you're still looking. There's a couple Twitter accounts that if you follow and then go ahead and ring the bell on all their things so you get every single tweet. It's a little annoying, but they just put out every single time something new or there's a sale or anything like that. And then that's how I was able to pick up a PS5. When we went into the new when we went into the new house, I had it waiting for him in his room, so that was dope. So that's what he's playing back there, playing some Miles Morales on the TV with the overexposure, if you could see it. A says The Office is for nerds. That is a fact, and that's why I love The Office. Let's see here. Judah's not handsome. He's pretty. Not today. Not today. Not with his Ted Cruz cosplay.
I'm Ted Cruz.
Before we move into the news, let me just say we're always looking at the chat. So if you have anything, we got a couple. Got quite a few creators on today. Appreciate you all for your time. Throw in some questions for them. If you've read any of their work, they're here. Let's get this ball rolling. What's up with the news?
Okay. I'm always hesitant to bring this up because it's like I feel like it's just the most weird thing. But what's trending now on Twitter is the hashtag Restore the SnyderVerse. This hashtag has popped up in recent days. All right.
God. Aren't they already getting that?
Well, no. They were released the Snyder Cut 1, so that's retired. But now Restore the SnyderVerse. After the Snyder Cut, this is a call for future DC Comics projects to proceed with input from director Zack Snyder. And Ray Fisher has voiced his support with the Restore the SnyderVerse. So I don't know. This weekend, just like being a Twitter lurker, I've seen so much conflict about this of people that think it's stupid, which is understandable. People that think people that are super protective of it, and I don't know. It's just one of the weird things of.
I hope Justice League is as good as they think it's going to be.
Me too.
That'd be great.
I think we should just compromise and have all the DC movies go through Bean Dad moving forward.
I didn't see. I saw that was happening today. I didn't catch any of it. I don't get the context of that.
I don't, because it's just not
some pedantic dude on Twitter bragged about how he wouldn't show his 9-year-old how to use a can opener to open up some baked beans. But
so awesome.
I'm sure he's got a lot of opinions on the DC extended universe.
Oh my god,
That's crazy. That's crazy. That dude thought not only did that, but thought that like everyone else would be like, oh yeah, man, yes,
Parent of the year.
that's right.
Is it
Right.
like learn how to use a can opener on your own sort of thing?
Yeah, and it took her like 6 hours to figure it out because she's a
Teaching
9-year-old.
problem-solving skills. You know.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, but
Right.
it just, I don't know. I mean, going back to your original question, I don't love rewarding harassers on the internet, which I'm not saying that there's necessarily a Venn diagram. I'm not necessarily saying it isn't a circle, but like there are some people who walk like a harasser and quack like a harasser that happen to be in that camp.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad that he gets to see Justice League done the way that he intended. I do love the idea of artists getting to complete the work as intended. Beyond that, do we really need a whole lot more of that? I don't know.
All I know is if Wonder Woman 1984 is any kind of like lens into the future, this is gonna be fucking dope. This is gonna be the greatest shit you've ever seen. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
I mean, like, I don't have any issue with like him getting to finish it like the way he envisioned it, because I think there was like a tragedy in his family. That's why he had to go on.
His daughter passed.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm great with that, but it's like the whole thing with like the fans that are rabid about it. It just shows you that it's less about the actual thing and more that they need something to be angry about.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't see why like they gave him like a ludicrous amount of money. It was like $100 million or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why they just didn't like use that $100 million and just make a second movie. Just like, okay, well, here's your chance to fix it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Or even like a reboot. Like, hey, we're gonna redo the whole thing. It's gonna be awesome because we're gonna go
too
like
early for a reboot. But, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm getting like special Star Wars. Remember Star Wars the special edition came out, and all of a sudden the Sarlacc pit had like a mouth coming out of it, and like
Didn't George Lucas also partially do that to get out of paying his ex-wife like money
No,
for
I
the
didn't know.
movies? I
did
feel
not
like
know
there
that.
was some sort of loophole for that like he didn't have to pay any more money for it.
Oh,
for
because
an
it's
additional
considered
edit.
a new movie.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it was
that's a good-
re-edited. That's I mean
Good
that is
scam.
what I heard. Maybe it's apocryphal, but yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
that's not cool either.
That's where Han shot first started. That's like that was the birth of that. Imagine if that happened now, man. The chaos on Twitter would just be like insurmountable.
I mean, did you see the last 3 movies? Star Wars has plenty of Twitter drama.
But what is it with like nowadays? Something comes out, and then everybody battles about it on Twitter, and that's like
No, there's only two sides to any issue that you could ever think of. I don't give a fuck if it's a candy brand. There's 2 sides, and you better fucking pick one.
better pick one.
And not only that, you better choose correctly.
Yeah. Snickers, right, Rich?
I'm watching you. Let me be clear. And I'm saying this for the sake of our admin, Michael Malone. Hashtag not all Snyder fans. You're absolutely right that this is mainly so I used to be pretty big into basketball. I've kind of fallen off on sports, but it was like a Kobe, LeBron James kind of thing where it was like, who's the best? Fuck you, bitch. Are you serious? Look at the stats. And then like Kobe and LeBron James are like, oh, I love you, man. You're the best. No, you're the best. And all the fans are punching each other in the face. And it's like, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing with like Zack Snyder. Like, I want Justice League to be awesome. I doubt, okay, if he can do, if he could do as good a job as like Kevin Feige, then let's see an entire DC verse. Great, let's do it. But it's not turning out that way. So just be honest about what's out there. And then it's like, now you're a piece of shit for liking it, and you're a piece of shit for not liking it. Michael Malone likes Justice League and the Zack Snyder movies, and Danny actually. Danny's
And
in there too.
they're not pieces of shit.
But they're not pieces of shit. So
Can confirm.
Yeah, no.
hashtag not all Snyder fans.
Like arguments like that are as old as like fandom and friendship. Like if you
100%.
you ever been in like a comic store, like you've argued about like
Who's going to win,
movie
Thor or Hulk?
comic, and you've called somebody like, oh no, you're an idiot, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's right.
The point
Robo
is,
and
it's like since you're face to face, kind of like the conversation ends, and maybe you go grab a beer,
That's
or maybe
right.
you talk about something else, or you're friends at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The difference is like on Twitter, it's like you do it with complete strangers, and like people just come off as like assholes, and it never ends.
See, I just decided to, when I got into those arguments, I just decided to make comics out of spite. So I guess based on the 20 years, I'll make my own superhero movies just to show.
If you don't like it, how about
I'll
you make
show you
your
how
own
it's done.
comic book? And then you three over here in the bottom corner are like,
Yeah, we did that already.
all right, yeah, bet.
Release the Pepose cut.
Yeah, there you go.
So speaking of DC movies, did you guys all watch Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it passed
That's
$1
about
million.
right. That's about right. That reaction. I like that.
That's the reaction. Yeah,
It was
a
a
good reaction.
film.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a film. It was shot. It was shot with a camera.
I didn't hate it. And there's two parts that I absolutely loved. The first is the lasso catching the bullet is probably one of the coolest superhero things I've seen in a while. And then the other thing that I liked was riding the lightning. Like, I don't care how it works. It was just cool to see.
Oh, dope.
No, I didn't mind that. I saw some people complaining about that. I was like, well, it's a magic lasso. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, that part didn't bother me.
There's
That's
a
the kind of
scene
shit you
in
want,
the comic books where her lasso wraps around the planet Earth multiple times and is pulled to change the orbit of some shit, whatever the fuck, right? And then it's like, and this the tension on the ropes doesn't matter. The change of weather in the oceans and the water, that doesn't matter.
Nope.
But goddamn,
I love Superman turning back time by
just by flying in the opposite direction of the orbit.
To go back to
The
Morrison's,
rotation.
I can't really front on anything that a comic book. movie
But
wants to do.
goddamn, if you lasso a lightning bolt, I cannot abide.
to go back to Morrison's run, they had Electric Blue Superman repel the moon from the Earth as the moon was launching
That's right.
towards Earth. So
That's why Grant Morrison's Superman is the worst Superman ever. And if you don't agree, you're a cuck. No, I'm just kidding.
So
I kid.
So Wonder Woman passed 100 million worldwide, which is kind of cool. And even with the coronavirus, I'm reading this right now. Worldwide box office achievement, scoring the biggest domestic opening weekend. It scored the biggest domestic opening weekend since the coronavirus pandemic began, which is kind of interesting because this was like
in actual movie theaters?
Why would anyone go see this in a theater? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched it at home.
That's incredibly irresponsible.
I know.
I wonder, is there any? Do we know that doesn't count views on HBO Max and they're quantifying that somehow?
Yeah, I think it's like
I don't know.
I think that's like how like a lot of networks do it. Like I think WWE Network has it too. Maybe like ESPN and stuff. But like I think it is like quantified by how many views and like how many minutes watched or something like that, and it's divided up amount between like those viewers subscription money. It's more. I draw pictures. I can't tell you how it works. So.
It's got to be something like that because I just moved to Georgia, and one of the great things about this area is they still have drive-in theaters. So I was like one of like 20 cars in this drive-in theater watching Wonder Woman, and also this is also a state that doesn't really give a shit about masks or anything, and they're still like not selling all their seats, you know. So it's like with half empty movie theaters and drive-through theaters with 20 cars in it, that's $5 a pop. You have to be quantifying HBO Max views. Gotta be.
From Ace, there are some countries that haven't had COVID at all, or have it under control now, so those numbers could be coming from there. True.
You were talking about domestic box office, though, right?
That is all.
Danny M says 5 million domestic, 118 global.
Okay.
118 global. That makes more sense.
It is. It's well. When I read this yesterday, it was 100 million worldwide. So somewhere between 100 million and 118 global. Domestic is still the biggest domestic opening weekend since coronavirus began. But you know, I mean, what's it competing against? Bloodshot, I guess. You know, I don't know.
Your favorite movie ever?
I watched it again and I liked it more the second time. I will say that.
Good. I'm proud of you.
You're
growing.
I always like movies more the second time that I watch them for some reason. But yeah, cool. So Wonder Woman, I would say decent movie. I didn't hate it, although there are certain elements of the plot that I thought were just too stupid for me to like enjoy. But the acting was good and the fighting was good. And just think about the speed that you have to be for a bullet to pass you, for you to turn and notice the bullet, assess a course of action, and then use a whip to catch that bullet and stop it from going through a windshield. I mean, that's incredible. That's so super.
Wonder.
That's so wonder.
You got it.
So I really did enjoy that. So moving on, there is a lot happening in the world of Star Wars comics. This High Republic.
So
thing,
you passed right. I'm proud of you. We don't need to go back to it, but you passed right over the ethical implications of her boyfriend coming back. So that's good.
Yeah.
We don't have to, but I'm like, wow. I wonder if he's going to bring this up.
Yeah, I don't want to have a big conversation about it. People are already talking about it everywhere else, and I feel like I've already talked about it enough. So I don't want to do a big thing about it. But
go ahead,
yeah.
Chris.
So there's so much good stuff coming out in Star Wars. This High Republic thing. So this takes place like hundreds of years before the events of the Phantom Menace, and there's all these. Like, this is their next big comic initiative, but it's going to be, there's a Charles Soule book, The High Republic, coming out, The Light of the Jedi. There's a Justina Ireland book called A Test of Courage coming out. These are both coming out this Wednesday. And then there's Marvel's Star Wars, The High Republic, which is, I think, more of a young adult-oriented book, but it's going to be Padawan Keeve Trennis as she joins her fellow Jedi and heading to the Starlight Beacon, written by Kevin Scott with art by Ario Anindito. And then we have a Claudia Gray book coming out called Into the Dark, which also takes place during this, I believe takes place during this High Republic period. And then IDW is dropping a Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, written by Daniel Jose Older and illustrated by Harvey Talabau. But whenever I see adventures in a title, I assume it's for very young kids. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the word adventures that implies that. But yeah, so my guess is it's going to be for kids. Here's a question. Why is IDW and Marvel both publishing Star Wars books?
I don't know, but congrats to Liana Kangas, who's drawing a Star Wars issue.
Yeah.
Congrats.
IDW also publishes, like, they publish Spider-Man and Avengers and stuff like that, and it is like you said, it's more of an all ages approach than I guess I don't even know like what the technical term is, but I would guess it's for like like a
sub-license sort of thing. Yeah,
no, I mean like the IDW Marvel properties, Star Wars included. I think they're more geared towards like 9 to 12-year-olds, like that.
Like preteen, teen.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why Marvel doesn't do it themselves, but that's just like that's the deal. So I think the Star Wars is part of that whole that whole thing.
Danny M says IDW does the Marvel all ages book.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. I'm excited for anything Star Wars, but this is especially exciting because it's like we get to finally enjoy new Star Wars stuff with no preconceived notions because it's so far removed from the main canon. You know, like the 9 main movies and stuff. So
yeah, it reminds me a lot of the old Knights of the Old Republic games.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's the same time period or whatever, but same general idea, like very very
distant past.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool just because you can still have all the familiar stuff like lightsaber battles and droids and all that cool stuff, but yeah, like you said, it's nothing was tethered to what came before. So it was really cool.
You're not gonna have like toxic assholes like myself watching and being like, Emperor Palpatine would never come up with a plan that stupid, you know.
I'm sure you will, but
that's not how the Force works.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah,
that's not how the Force works.
The anger of midichlorian counts was like the peak of when I'm like,
midichlorians was terrible, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, you're one of them. As soon as I heard how many people got angry at midichlorians, I'm like, okay, I'm not a part of you guys. You guys stand over there for a second.
Horrible. So if you get a blood transfusion with someone, never mind. Forget it. I'm not even going to get into this. You're baiting me. Don't bait me.
Then you would die. There's a lot of people you can't get a blood transfusion from. But anyways, go ahead. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, that's that. I'm especially excited about this. So Venom number 32. I'm going to go ahead and screen share really quick just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. But the previews came out for Venom 32 that's coming out on Wednesday. And it just looks so cool.
I don't know.
It just looks...
The only book I care about coming out on Wednesday is Scout's Honor. So.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I'll be honest, that's probably the only book I'm reading this week, too.
I'm definitely gonna be checking out Scout's Honor.
Nobody spoil it for me. I don't know how it ends.
Zoom in a little bit. I mean, art's beautiful as always. Is that Ryan Stegman?
Yeah, it's Ryan Stegman. This is like right at the end of King in Black? I want to say issue 1. You have Brock falling off the Empire State Building, and then in Venom 31, he's like having all his life flash before his eyes and all this other stuff while he's falling, and it sure looks like he hit that car, and then I guess this looks like Dreamland right here. But
well, is that the car he was driving drunk in?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, is this a part of his past? Or
I think the last issue was him falling off a building.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's not a metaphor. That's not his dream.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, in King in Black 1, he's thrown off a building. Venom 31, the whole story is him while he's falling off the building, and then this looks like it's him striking his car.
So good. So
yeah, I'm excited about that. It's. Let me take this off share screen really quick. I'm still not very good at using StreamYard.
You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start using my apps, whether it's like Comixology or whatever, because I have this thing where like I only really use Marvel U for like the old shit that I want to catch up on, and I don't read shit unless I can get a physical stuff. But I think it's holding me back. I should be able to get my digital stuff, read it, but then also collect it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get caught up on King in Black.
I think like Marvel gives you like some sort of serial number or something you can punch in.
The digital. Oh, are you talking about the digital sticker in the books, or are you something? Yeah.
So you can get your physical issues and then download them too, which I like that.
My thing is like if I don't make it to the shop, then I don't read it at all. And that's the thing is that it's like I should just grab them off my app anyway, and then go get the print for my collection. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So, David, I guess it's the cutoff for ordering Scout's Honor is already passed, right? It's just going to get a general release at these at the LCSs.
Yeah, it's through Aftershock, so it'll be hitting comic shops nationwide this Wednesday. That said, my friends at Rad Raptor Comics do have an exclusive variant cover from my buddy Mon House. For issue 1, which I believe they still have some copies of that extra limited edition cover. So radraptorcomics.com. But yeah, your local comic shop should have plenty of copies. If you're based here in LA, like I am, places like Golden Apple or the Comic Bug will certainly have plenty of copies. Or if you're a little further south in Long Beach, Atomic Basement. It's and I believe it will also be available on Comixology. Although I guess I should check that because I actually haven't checked that yet. But yeah, you can get it anywhere comics are sold. And if for whatever reason you can't, find me and we can work out a deal. I can ship something.
What's working with? I've heard nothing but good things about working with Aftershock. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been great. I've said it. I've talked about it in a few interviews. It's been a real learning curve for me. It's the first time I've ever worked with editors, which has been really nice. I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to the behind the scenes of my books because I'm usually kind of the editor as well as the writer and the financer and the publicist. And working with Aftershock's been really great. It sort of has been a continuing lesson for me in terms of figuring out, like, okay, how can I write smarter? And how can I sort of be a better communicator with my collaborators? Especially, working with artist Luca Casalanguida, who he doesn't even speak English. We've actually been translating everything through his agent. So it's been a really fun way to get to learn how to be nimble with your writing. And yeah, it's just been a really fun experience working with my editor, Christina Harrington, and Mike Martz, who I've known since I was in college. It's just yeah.
Do you ever get that feeling though, that like protective feeling when they give their edits when you're like, actually, fuck off, it's my story?
No, it's one of those things. I trust Mike and I trust Christina, and so knowing that any notes that they have are to sort of make the book more user friendly, make it have some more pop. I always try to consider what they have to say. They've been pretty good as far as the notes that they've given me.
I think that's next level stuff right there. I think that's how you know you're a pro, because we can't even have like a script for the show or a way we want to do something when we like talk to each other on our level, and that's like, and then you're like, no, I don't want to do it like that, or your feelings get hurt.
Right. Well, it's been really good working with them. This is the first book, for example, that I've had editors matchmake a creative team for me, which was I was really exciting to see Luca and colors Matt Milla and letterer Carlos Manguel, and Christina especially has really kind of helped spearhead a lot of our work. She's the lead editor on this book. When I got the gig and I talked with some friends who had worked at Aftershock, they were like, "Oh, you're working with Christina. She's one of the best editors I've ever worked with." And I really lucked out that she was the first editor I've ever really seriously worked with. And working with Mike as well. I've known him since I was in college. I interned for him when he was at DC as the Batman editor on Batman R.I.P. and Final Crisis. So it's been a long time coming, this book, but at the same time, it was sort of the idea that I had done the least amount of development on, and that was the one that Aftershock, I think, realized was a little more prescient than I did, and was like, oh yeah, you should run with this. And it just so happened that the way that it took to develop the book and then the paperwork got signed, I think I signed the contract for this book about 2 weeks before everything shut down. And so I wrote 80% of this book under quarantine, and it was an experience writing a post-apocalyptic book during the year 2020
during the apocalypse.
But I'm glad that I kind of pushed through it, because I feel like it was a good reminder for me that anybody who's read my work knows that I often play with some pretty dark, high concepts. But it's always about the redemptive arc. It's always about sort of starting in a bleak place and working your way out. And I feel like when I finished writing the book, I realized it's not just about this post-apocalyptic cult. It's about how do you sort of affect moral change, and how do you sort of lose your religion while still kind of keeping your ethical compass intact. It's about turning a corner. And I think by the time that everybody gets to read the last issue of this book, we might all be turning a corner. So I feel like at the end of the day, there's just because you start off bleak doesn't mean you have to end that way.
That's
So
right.
it just reminded me that I'm a big believer still in happy endings.
Do either Gavin or Rich want to add to that? Because I got a question for you three.
I fucking love bummer endings. I'm trying to make my characters as miserable as possible.
It's funny you said that. I didn't want to be an asshole, but I was like, I'm gonna write a book where the fucking hero fucking dies and everyone, you know.
Like I had to get talked out of like killing like a main character like in the second issue of Dead Legends. I was like, no, let's just fucking kill him now.
You're like George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, I'll kill him. I don't care. I have like no attachments. I've and it's funny because like we kill off probably my favorite character I've ever created in Dead Legends, and I'm just sort of like, all right, on to the next one. Let's kill him. Let's make someone cooler and kill them too. But it's fun. I mean, I do like happy endings also. But bummer endings are so good. They just hit you. like whenever we watch a movie with my wife and it's like a bummer ending, she's just like, she'll say like, I didn't like that movie. Like, it's not good. I was like, no, that movie's so good. It made you so angry. Look what happened.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like, as far as an appreciator, it just depends for me. Like, I'm kind of with Dave. Like, I like a happy ending, or at least an ending that makes me feel good. But at the same time, like, if there is going to be a bummer ending, I want it to be a bummer ending where I walk away thinking it went the way it should have gone. You know, I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
It's usually if they're jerks. It's usually the character's a jerk, and then you say, okay, that guy deserved it.
Or like a slasher horror thing where I'm actually rooting for everyone to die.
Right.
See, and that's the thing, though. When the writing, whether it's film or books, like kind of lets me know, it's like kind of like when you look at relationships, right? When one person in the relationship is gonna go and do something that's technically infidelity, I can always tell when the writers are kind of going that way because they'll make the opposing person in the relationship a complete douche nozzle, right? And it's like, okay, so that's setting us up to be okay with what's gonna happen next. Okay, great. But the only time I really feel bad about when like things don't go how I want them to go, like the positive route, is when it's animals. What was the horse in Neverending Story? Artax or
Trey? No,
Treyu's the boy.
He's the main boy.
Artax.
So Artax. So
yeah,
he's going through the You could have like maybe Atreyu says something to like, you know, oh, this is how you get through. No, they fucking killed the horse in front of me. I would never forgive them for that.
That was just sadness porn.
Yeah,
it was just like design.
I have a question for you guys, and answer carefully because we're gonna clip this and put it on YouTube. So. You guys are creators, right? So Michael Malone is writing a book, and the IFL team is kind of coming together to back him on this. So everybody has done this for the first time. You three have done this for the first time, and have kind of like, okay, I'm not going to do this again. If there's one thing that you could tell yourself,
thank you, Danny.
That let David know that Go to the Chat was my first one. Nice.
Thank you.
If there's one thing you can tell yourself before you did your first project into publication, as far as advice goes, what would it be? Gavin, go.
I don't know. For my first thing, it was a self-published thing, and you know, obviously and that's it came out almost 10 years ago. It's called Human City. I wrote it and drew it, and you know, looking back on it, it's like I'm not like particularly as fond of it as I was back then. Mostly, I mean, like I've grown as an artist. I don't write that much, but I like to think of myself as a better writer. Like every once in a while, I get a chance to write a story, but I'm not ashamed of it. Because like doing that and putting it out myself, I took the first 100 copies, you know, it was a small print run, had 100 copies, like sold out at C2E2, and you know, rush print. Like, yeah, I did like 6 weeks of conventions, like the week I released it, and the first show I had it at was C2E2 2012. And like I did like 3 or 4 different print runs over the course of those like 6 conventions, like because I just kept selling them, and it was great. So like I don't know if I would. I feel like I did well because everything after that kind of steamrolled into the next thing.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, obviously I'd probably just go back and be like, yo, you fucked up the perspective there. Maybe don't do that. Maybe fix it.
But even on like not so much
Yeah.
on the technical aspect, but like even like on an industry aspect, like I would have went this route to get sales done, or I would have went with this publisher versus that publisher. Nothing like that you would do different.
I mean, I feel pretty fortunate that I've been able to make comics for the like past 9 years and pay my rent with it.
All right.
So like, I mean, like, you know, there's something. I mean, there's like one big thing I fucked up, like where like I came out of Kubert school, graduated from there in 2011, and there was an editor there that sent me like the standard DC sample script at the time, which if you were probably, it sounds like you were around there that time, David, so you might know it. It's sort of where it's like the guy in the apartment and he comes out and it's the big futuristic city, then he time travels back to the jungle.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah, it was something like that. A guy named Rex Ogle sent it to me.
Yeah.
I think he was working
I
with
know
Vertigo
Rex.
at the time.
Yeah.
So like it was one of those things. It's like cool. Like I figured like everyone, like because they took like my whole class to the DC offices, and everyone talked to editors. So I figured like everyone got that script, and then I found out later it was like, oh, only like 3 of us got that. But like my mindset at the time, I don't regret it, but like a little bit is like maybe I was just too young, but my mindset at the time was like, I just spent 3 years at Joe Kubert School doing sample pages. Like, why the fuck do I want to make more sample pages? I'm ready to make comics.
There you go.
So instead, I just made my own comic and self-published it, and then that's what got me work, instead of just kind of being in that sample page limbo. So maybe I should have done those sample pages because it's. I mean, now that I'm 10 years into the business, it's not often that a DC editor emails you cold and asks you to do a sample script. So maybe I should have done it, but I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more or less, Gavin Smith, rock star, would do everything the same way. No problem. No, I'm fine.
No problem.
David.
I draw some pages a little different. That's
What's your advice to your younger self?
Well, I mean, I'm happy with how my first book turned out. Spencer and Locke, I think, kind of swung pretty far.
Hey,
out of
listen.
the way.
Let me be clear about something. We're looking for advice here.
But
All right?
the advice,
no
the advice
regrets.
that I
I've done nothing wrong in my career ever.
You're not helping me here.
The advice that I would give, especially for a first-time creator, is nobody's going to love your book as much as you love your book. And so that means you really got to kind of, it's incumbent upon you to really kind of like knock on as many doors as you can for your first book, and really kind of, you know, shout it from the rooftops in as many different places and opportunities as you can. You should be
your own advocate.
Yeah, be your own advocate. Yeah. You know,
like
I mean, and that goes for, you know, shouting from the rooftops on social, or when when conventions reopen, you know, being really aggressive at sales. I feel like at the end of the day, people get excited about your books when you seem excited about your books. And I know that there are all sorts of kind of like hurdles that go into it. The higher up you get, you know, once you start working with, say, publicists, you want to make sure that you're not stepping on their toes or any exclusives that they're looking to offer. But that's not something that you typically have to worry about with your first book. So your first book, I think, if the execution is there, and you want to make sure that the execution is there. If it's not, you want to keep working until the execution is there. But once that is the case, you really want to be shouting this thing from the rooftops, because I feel like that was really the big secret to our success. Was just, it wasn't any particular one outlet that I think made the book a success. It was the snowball effect of all these people talking about the book that I think got us some attention and some traction. So
that's dope. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my advice to a first-time creator is just be your own advocate because nobody else will.
That's definitely solid advice.
Rich.
Rich, what do you got?
I think, like, to me, like, my first published book was Gutter Magic, and that got published in 2015, but the first, like, I started, like, kind of self-publishing it in 2011. I did a few short stories, and then I had one issue for, like, a while, and I just kept, like, revising it, and, like, I was selling it in shows and things like that, and it all eventually worked out because it did get picked up by IDW through comic experience. But I think if I could go back and talk to myself, I would be like, not to, like, focus on that being, like, your only thing. Like I was so convinced that it was that or nothing. Like I was, like, going to be the only thing I would ever publish. And hey, like if it gets published, great. Like I'll just sort of be like, okay, great, I did it. I made a comic. I can say I did it. Like if I could go back, I would say, like, finish the first issue, self-publish it, do another one. Like I feel like I spent a lot of time early on in my career, like really just hyper focused on getting Gutter Magic out there. Where what I should have been doing is I should have just gotten it out there, let it do what it did, and then just try and get more and more stuff out there. Because I think, like, the more you do it, not only the better you get, but the better chance you have of, like, something actually, like, catching on without having to, like, just keep, like, beating a dead horse. Like, I love Gutter Magic, like, proud of it, I'm happy with it, but it's like, for all the time I spent on pushing it, I think it would have been better off if I had, just put it out there, self-published, Kickstarted it, whatever. I mean, it was like a different landscape back then. Kickstarter wasn't the juggernaut it is today, but I would have been better off like getting Wailing Blade out there sooner. I didn't have the idea of Rotobones a lot later, but like just sort of like keep getting more and more stuff out there. Because I think it is. You never know, like, what's going to hit, and you don't want to, like, put all your eggs in one basket. You want to be able to.
That's
showing people that you're, like, an idea factor kind of.
That's so good, and that's on the nose right there, because that's kind of how, like, I think I would say probably 99% of most people are right there. Like, I think to myself, so I'm coming to the end of my current career now. Me and Judah are in the same kind of career. He's kind of in the middle of it. I'm at the end, and I think to myself, if this doesn't work out, then I need to find something else. And I think that is a pretty common thing to think about. It's like, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to draw this painting, paint this painting. I'm going to do this thing. And if it doesn't work out, well, then that's not for me. I need to go do something else. Where I think about, like, stand-up comedians, and I hear their stories, and I watched, like, the documentaries of people like Eddie Murphy or whatever, and you listen to how they, like, their stories about how they bombed and how they go to a comedy club and everybody hates their work. And there's two different kinds of people at that moment. There's, I guess this is not for me, or what do I need to adjust? And I'm going to keep doing it until I make it. And I think I like that. Hey, I like all you guys' advice, but I think that one speaks to me because I'm a quitter, so that's good.
I think to kind of deal with what Ace here is saying, I usually do this whenever people bring their portfolios up to me at comic book conventions. I tell them about the worst portfolio review I ever got. Mm-hmm. So it was during my first year at Qbert, and they encouraged us to go to New York Comic Con and get our portfolios reviewed. And one of my teachers worked at Continuity Studios, which is Neil Adams' studio. And I saw him outside smoking, and I started talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, have you seen Neil yet?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Let's go." So he beelines me straight to Neil. He's like, "Hey, show him that double-page spread you showed me earlier this week, what you're doing for Adam Kubert's class." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So I pulled it out, and it's this double-page spread, and it has, like, Nightwing sneaking in a window, and, like, he's standing on top of a filing cabinet. And Neil just kind of looks at it and he's like, what's that supposed to be? And I was like, it's a filing cabinet. He's like, I'll give the short version because it goes on for a while. But it's like, the gist of it is like, he's like, I thought you said you went to a school. Like, they don't have filing cabinets at that school?
Ouch.
What's that in your pocket? Is that a phone with a camera on it? You can't take a picture of it? Like, this is the biggest panel on the page. And he just proceeds to rip me apart. And then he's like, that's the biggest panel on the page. The biggest panel on the page. That's the biggest panel on the page.
I mean, it
That's
sounds
the
like good
biggest
advice.
panel on the page. That's the biggest panel on the page. Stop being so fucking lazy and use some goddamn reference, and I don't want to see anything from you for 6 months. And like, so I told a lot of, my fellow students like this story. I was like, holy shit! Like Neil ripped into me, and everyone was just like, like, well, Neil's a dick, and I was like, not really. That was kind of like some of like the best like motivation. Like, it's like, yeah, it's not up to snuff, kid. Like, keep pushing yourself. There's a right way to do it, and you're being lazy about it. So that changed a lot of the way I work.
I would have been like, oh.
So anyway, with the negative comments, I let them roll.
I think
you can't get worse than what Neil's did to me.
I bet.
there's also kind of a difference though between like negative or constructive comments and then just like negative stuff of people on the
Straight up
internet
abused.
being like, this sucks or like I hate it. And
Yeah.
I think like for me, I just always try to think of like some of my favorite artists, like not necessarily in comics, but like a lot of like musicians and stuff that like just sort of thrive on pissing people off. And it's like if you're making everybody happy, then you're probably not doing the right thing because you're doing the easy thing.
Right.
Like I would much rather, if I was a musician, I'd rather be like a punk rocker than a pop star. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want like the bubblegum stuff that like everybody's gonna do. It's like I want to be like banned by like the Footloose church or whatever. They're trying to like run me out of town or whatever.
Get shut down by the cops a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's never a good idea to engage with those people, but really what you do is just like you look at the screen and you just say, "Fuck you, buddy," and you get off and you're wrong with your day. So
I was gonna say I usually, if somebody says something really mean, I usually just like show it to a friend privately and just kind of vent privately. And then I kind of imagine doing like the Liam Neeson thing for a minute, and like finding their family.
I will find you.
And I will kill you. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, I just keep reminding myself that like if you put yourself out there in public, you're gonna take your hits. That's just kind of like that's just part of the job. That's the occupational hazard. And I just remind myself that like this is still the most fun job I've ever had. Oh, yeah. And I'm never gonna get 100% success rate, but I feel like if I can get the ratio at least somewhat in my favor, then I'm happy with it. But honestly, even if you find just one person who digs your work, that's great. That's you're finding your audience. But remember, like if Zack Snyder can get a whole bunch of fans, so just think, you are somebody's Zack Snyder, whether for good or for bad, and that should give you some comfort. I hope.
Yeah, it's like I always like try to picture like if it's a bad review or just like a random comment, like trying to imagine in your head like if they wrote something from their heart and like reading that and how terrible that probably would be, because if they were any good they'd probably be doing it instead of talking shit about it.
That's right.
Just think about that, like search for their fanfic. And,
that's right.
I mean, I'm guilty too, though. Like, I'm definitely guilty of being a harsh critic of things when I could never, in my wildest dreams, do anything even remotely as good as the thing that I'm criticizing.
Right.
I think there's
but it's just but it's just sort of like it's like one comfort you can kind of take from getting like criticism is that it's like, you've done something that most people can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's a big difference between providing a critique, especially on public. I think there's a huge difference on amateur and private individuals and public people. I would never critique, like I said earlier, Michael Miller's working on the work. I would never be as like, what the fuck is this? This is such, you know what I mean? I would be like, well, let me be a little bit more constructive about it than I would for Zack fucking Snyder.
Well,
You know what I mean?
also,
There's
you're never in
figures.
you're never in the wrong as a critic if you make I statements like honesty, just honesty of like.
That is my 100% pet peeve, and it's funny too because you've done that.
What you say is I was unable to understand this sequence of panels. How do you argue with that? That's just the effect of the work on me. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was a critic for a really long time before I jumped into the writing side of things, and but while I was teasing Zack Snyder, I mean, he's got millions of dollars he can handle. But I think
100%.
ultimately it comes down to like, is somebody engaging with my work in good faith?
Right.
If they are, and there's something that doesn't work for them, that's totally legit. And I've had people who I'm friendly with who have rightly said, "Oh, well, this thing didn't work for me in this particular issue." There are, of course, going to be people who engage the work in bad faith, and there are going to be people who might engage it without maybe necessarily the level of sophistication that they should be bringing to it.
Sure.
And those people, you just kind of have to take a deep breath and just say, it is what it is. That's just the occupational hazard of being here. I think the only time that I've only had, I think, one or two people tag me on Twitter in nasty negative reviews, and that's a faux
I love
pas
that.
people shouldn't do. Tagging me and my entire creative team while calling my book a garbage fire.
That's rough.
Those people get muted or blocked, but for the most part, you just kind of you take your hits, because honestly, this is a much better job than digging ditches. And if that's what it costs, is to have comic fan 05783D not like my book on Twitter, if he paid for it, he's entitled to his opinion.
If they got that many numbers, they pirated it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And if they did pirate it, well,
Yeah, whatever.
that sucks. What can you do?
I try not to get too worked up about people pirating the book. It sucks, but
It sucks.
there's
But
not
then I
really
get this
anything to do about it. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I know Spencer and Locke got way more pirated hits than actual purchases.
Sure, yeah. Same with Dead Legends, and I found a site that didn't even have to torrent it. It was just on the site, and it was just here it is, page by page, and even had the
stats,
credit page, and everything. And it's just and I emailed Tyler at Witchblade World. I was just like, is there anything we can really do about this? And he's like, no.
Those are all hosted in the Netherlands and shit. So yeah.
And then you have dudes on Twitter that'll hit up a creator and be like, "Hey, I really liked your comic. I read it for free on blah blah blah."
Yeah.
.com,
Are you gonna make another one? No, because you didn't buy it.
Son of a bitch.
That was the tweet.
I saw that.
For the record, I freaking love comics on all their properties, including Discord and Facebook and whatever. Anybody who promotes that kind of stuff or shares links gets banned immediately. Buy your fucking comic books.
Thank you.
Buy
Ooh.
comics.
Yeah.
I've got a puppy at home. She requires a lot of kibble. Please buy my books.
Hell yeah. Hey, Judah, I apologize for that. I think it was a lot of good information, but were you done?
No, that
with
was good.
news?
I started going to the news, and I kind of my mind. I'm like, why are we have 3 awesome creators on the show. We should talk about creating comic books instead of reading all this I don't know. I kind of decided halfway through I don't know. Do you guys want me to keep going through the news items or what?
Well, it's your show. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going with whatever.
How do you want us to run our show? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Well, the green room could use some work. Some catering.
Yeah, well, hey, my grandma made those cannolis, so.
That's so fun.
This is dope. This is dope.
This is dope. I only had 2 other news items, and they're quick. One of them is, hey, the Avengers. The Phoenix Force just bonded with Captain America. There's a picture here of Captain America with the Phoenix Force, and it's really cool, so I'm just going to show it real fast.
I feel like the Phoenix Force is coming up, is kind of becoming kind of like the Hammer. Like who? No, not the Hammer. Galactus Herald. Like who wants it? Huh? Who wants it? Yeah, you get it.
It's just a little much. Like I don't know. I'm really I enjoy the Phoenix Force the most when it's bonded with Jean Grey. I did really like Avengers versus X-Men, or where there was what was it? Peter Rasputin, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Ileana. I can't remember all of them, but that was cool. And I definitely think Captain looks really cool here with his Phoenix Force head thing. Like what? So his ear wings have turned into the Phoenix Force on his forehead, which is kind of cool. And then he's rocking the Jean Grey chest. Well, some features of the Jean Grey chest. And then
rocking actual Jean Grey's actual chest.
Yeah, but they give him breasts. It'd be awesome.
I haven't read it, so I giggle like in this one little square. I'm thinking like, oh my god. But I wonder if I had read through the series and got to that page, would I be like, fuck yeah. Like I don't have any of this set up. So right now it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? You know, I mean, I'm definitely interested in it. And apparently after this event, Marvel's going to go through a big relaunch, like reshuffle type thing, where they like a bunch of number ones. And I don't know if it's a full continuity reset, but it's going to be like their next big marketing initiative. So, you know, whatever. That's just comics. And then the last thing is just kind of a news item I thought was funny. I don't know why I found this funny, but there's this series called Batman: The Adventure Continues, and it's a comic continuation of Batman the Animated Series. And they just released an issue, Adventure Continues number 15, where Tim Drake Robin like kills a dude. So I don't know. I was like, that's so awesome. Like this is a continuation of a kids show that I watched when I was like 8. And it's just kind of dope that Robin's killing people now. So basically, okay. So the what happens is Tim Drake's Robin. He becomes a killer while the puppet master tries to pull off an explosive stunt during a fight between the goons and Batman. Arnold Wesker, the man holding Scarface, accidentally sets the charger off, which means the airship is going to blow. This leads to thugs jumping out, and Batman grabs Wesker before leaping out as well. He calls up Robin on his comlink, and Tim catches them as the Batplane shoots out a net. However, Tim lets the other henchmen fall, a fact that comes to light in the interrogation room as Gordon, Harvey Bullock, and the dynamic duo try to get answers from Arnold.
Oh, so is it an accident, or is it like he just missed him, or?
I think it's a Raj Al Ghul from Batman Begins style kill, where it's like he was like I don't have to save you. Yeah,
I mean they if I remember the series, the cartoon correctly, they kind of merged Jason Todd's origin into Tim Drake's character.
Yeah, I think
that's right.
So I guess tracks. I don't love it, but I'm a huge Tim Drake fan, so you know. I
like the Robins better than Batman these days. I don't know. I love Dick Grayson. I love the Red Hood. I love Tim Drake. I like Dick Grayson, Todd Grayson, and Drake. I love them all. So, you know, they could have like shown all the Robins in the animated series, but whatever. Who cares? I guess it doesn't really matter. What was it? The Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, where you find out where that instead of Jason Todd, it's like it
was Tim.
Tim who becomes evil.
Yeah, it was like Tim got kidnapped by the Joker and
brainwashed as a kid.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like a personality implant kind of or something like that.
It was pretty dope. So that concludes the news. That concludes the news. Before we start winding down, I just kind of want you guys to kind of go over what we can expect going forward. We already talked about like your current upcoming projects, but maybe some short rocks, some far rocks, and stuff that we can kind of expect from you going forward. You wanna lead us off on this one, David?
Yeah, well, the shortest of short rocks is Scout's Honor coming out this Wednesday. If you think a post-apocalyptic Boy Scout cult sounds cool, I promise you it's really cool. So anywhere comics are sold, you can pick that up. I just wrapped up a superhero one-shot for the Big Hype anthology called Roxy Rewind with my Spencer and Locke partner in crime, George Santiago Jr. We just wrapped up on lettering on that yesterday.
What was it called?
Roxy Rewind.
Roxy Rewind.
Yeah, it's kind of like classic Spider-Man with beats Back to the Future. It's the first ever child of two time travelers, so she can manipulate time up to 60 seconds. But is that enough time to save the city? We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah, and yeah, just working on a few other projects down the line. My very first horror book. I'm wrapping up on the first issue on that now, and yeah, some more fun stuff down the road. Spencer and Locke Volume 3 and Grand Theft Astro, hard at work on those as well.
Do you want to stick with publishers?
I love working with publishers, but I forgot to mention my Kickstarter. Yeah, the OZ. We will be returning to Kickstarter, probably February or March, with our second installment.
Yeah.
So yeah, very exciting. I love working with publishers, but I also love Kickstarter. So it's going to be one of those things. I think the decisions will be made for me in a lot of those instances. But I love the Kickstarter community. I plan on working with them quite a bit in the future with the OZ and future projects beyond.
That's awesome. Yeah, and chat, if you have not checked out the OZ, you're really missing out on something totally awesome.
It's super fun, and we do have extra copies that we are selling on Backer Kit. So if you missed it and still want to catch up, let me know, and we'll sell you a copy.
And David will be signing them.
Where can they go? Just to that Kickstarter page?
They can go to the ozcomic.backerkit.com, and that has a link to our pre-order store where you can order just about everything that we were offering during the campaign.
Sweet. Cool.
Check the chat.
Oh, check the chat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it is, right here. So,
yep.
This is the link right here.
Yep.
Definitely check that out. Gavin, what do you got going on in the foreseeable and maybe perhaps unforeseeable future?
A lot of stuff in the works right now. Dead Legends Volume 1 is available at your local comic shop. If not, they can order it for you or off awbw.com. Volume 2 is coming soon. I think the first issue is going to drop in August, and then it's only the first issue is a physical issue. Then the other 4 issues of the 5-issue run will be coming out on Comixology, and then 2 weeks after the last issue drops, the trade will be available in print at your comic shop. So that's coming out later this year. I'm talking to some other people about some other projects, one of which might end up on television. So I will make a big deal about that when that eventually comes to fruition, but I can't really talk about it right now. I will have a pinup in Rich's Wailing Blade book, which, if you don't mind, I'll share that with you real quick.
Yes.
Let
me make you big.
I have a short map, so.
Oh, nice. I did mine with Kenny Porter. He wrote the prose for it, but there, you should be able to see that. I think. Are
you sharing screen right now?
Yeah, I'm sharing a screen. Sorry.
It's not doing it.
Oh, do you see it now?
No.
That's weird. I'll just share.
Can you hold it up? Do you have it here?
No, I don't. Let me try something else real quick.
To answer Ace's question, the deluxe part is all the friends we made along the way.
Nice.
Hold on.
No, it's double sized.
Application
It's got
window.
pinups in it, so it's
Sweet.
Check and see if that pops up in your like add to the screen or add to the stream thing.
I'm so bad at this right now. Let me see if I'm getting.
I called Judah the youngest boomer ever.
Like where it's.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't.
Okay.
What is this?
Oh wait,
What's going on there?
I'll find it and.
Wait, can I think.
Oh god.
No, I don't want to ban Gavin from the studio. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know how to do it.
Whatever. It's dope. Don't worry.
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
Wait.
Follow me on
what
Instagram.
was it? What was it?
I said I can vouch for its dopeness. It's
Yeah.
Let me see if I can look it up really quick.
What's the name? Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
My Twitter and Instagram is Gavin P. Smith, Gavin Patrick Smith, but Gavin P. Smith. P is in Patrick.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But it's very dope.
Okay.
Oh, you're saying the link is on there? Gavin P. Did you know Gavin Smith is a common name apparently?
There was a poker player. He's dead. There was a Fox executive. He's dead.
Yeah,
any Gavin Smith I find out there, I'm trying to Highlander my way into there can be only one. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, look out other Gavins in the comic universe. I'm looking at you, Gidry.
Right. My partner in crime.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it we're looking for? What's on here? Dead Dog's
it's Wailing Blade.
Wailing Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Rich
Go
just
ahead,
dominated on Kickstarter with it.
It's not your pinned tweet.
It's not. No, but there's the cover for the first issue of Volume 2 of Dead
That is
Legends.
dope. That is dope.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna like that.
Thanks.
You know what? Here you go.
I'm a like it.
Awesome. So
Yeah. All right.
is that variant cover up here too, or?
It's. I mean, yeah, it should be in like media or whatever, and just scroll
media.
through. It's not that far along. We announced it like a couple weeks ago, right, Rich?
Yeah. I mean, probably maybe more like a week ago, but
Oh yeah, you just get to scroll through other dope things I'm doing.
Yeah, everything looks dope. Oh, there's Pee Wee Herman. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Take Ace's comment off.
All right, give me a second.
Ruby, you want to say hi for your first podcast? Come here.
Oh, is there a puppy?
Hey, Ruby. Let's go.
Wait, cat. Wait.
Hey, sweet
What's up?
Fix the video. There's an animal on the screen. I can sense it.
Oh,
All right.
That's my headset. What are you doing?
Make Pepose big.
Make Pepose big.
Boom.
Ruby, say hi.
That's awesome.
Hey, puppy. Hey, sweet girl. I know.
Dogs.
Okay.
Wonderful.
We tried.
Cool.
Don't you want to hang
Hey,
out?
Question.
Hey, Rich.
If there's time. Hey, put Danny M's question up.
Put Denny M's. Okay, I was gonna ask Rich what he's got coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah. Let me do that. Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
Yeah. So immediately, like Sea of Sorrows 3 to 5, they're going to be coming out. I think 3 was supposed to be the last week of January, but I think Diamond
February now.
slip a week. It's going to be the first week of February. But the good thing about that is it's like 3 and 4 are going to be like boom, boom. So it's not going to be a big wait there. We got Wailing Blade. We just finished Kickstarter. That's going into production, so that'll be out to comic stores and things like that soon. So that's like immediately. A little bit later on in the year, I have a short with Alex that's going to be in Razor Blades anthology that
oh, nice.
I mean, the
nice.
horror magazine. It's going to be an upcoming issue. We're working on that right now. It's pretty cool. It's a great opportunity. A couple of other like small things that I'm pretty excited about, but can't really talk about. And then we'll just see. Talking. I got stuff in a few things in the works. I'd like to get back to Wailing Blade. Want to do some more horror stuff. So, but that's all kind of like in a little bit further in the future. So, I'll figure it out.
So when we're talking about things you can't talk about, what's up, little guy?
Any more Ninja Turtle stuff coming out?
Well, hold on. When we're talking about things you can't talk about,
Okay.
can you talk about themes or publishers?
I guess
Like a teaser, something to keep me.
Or even just a one-line like "You're not ready,"
Yeah.
like Donny.
I don't know. I don't know that anyone's ready for this one thing. I certainly was. Had to psych myself up into feeling ready to write it, but it will be pretty exciting and hopefully not too far off in terms of like being able to let people know. But it's a big deal for me.
Okay.
I'm stoked. I'm very stoked for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's look at the chat really quick. Oh, we had a question from Danny. Question: if there is time, what do you all think about TKO Productions' model of doing a series all in one?
I think it's cool.
Yeah,
like
I'm
it.
for it.
Yeah.
The best thing about it is that each issue doesn't have to have like a throat punch to sell the issue. They can take their time and build to natural climaxes over the
What if
course
you
of an
like
arc.
punching people in the throat? I love punching people in the throat.
I do like punching people in
That
the
is
throat.
a good point. That is an excellent point.
That is an excellent point, David.
My
Thank
next
you.
graphic novel is 160
no
pages
throat
of just
punching.
that.
I think the best example of this kind of setup is Red Fork. Like Red Fork comes out, just slaps their giant dick on the table and is like, "This is fucking dope. Fucking read it." And Red Fork was so, and I didn't have to sit there and wait 7 months with 72 tie-ins for it. It was all out there. I really enjoyed the format.
Alex slayed it with that
James
book.
Maddox,
Yeah.
co-creator of Dead Legends, did some consulting on the West Virginia aspects of that book.
Nice.
And they're so spot on. Like I grew up in northern regular Virginia, but I've definitely driven through West Virginia quite a few times.
He
and,
lives in Huntington.
Regular Virginia. That's offensive.
Yeah.
That's offensive.
it's offensive. It's offensive until you go to West Virginia and you realize that.
Okay. There's the normal Virginia.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Cool. You want to bring us home, Robo?
What's that?
You want to bring us home?
Yeah, so check this out. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This is always really, really awesome to actually bring creators on. A lot of the time we sit here and we talk and we bullshit and we criticize, and we're coming from the hobby kind of level, but to have creators on the show to give a real perspective, we always appreciate that. Super fucking awesome.
Yeah, thanks for
Yes.
Yeah, so for everyone else, just make sure to check us out on Facebook. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know most of the people in the chat have already subscribed, but sometimes you forget to minimize the chat. Go ahead and give us a like on that one and give us a little bit more. There's David Pepose's dog. We love dogs. We love animals. We love pets around here.
I'm just going to leave this here for a moment.
Also, check us out on our Discord. We actually have, and it's ending this week, a very uninvolved, not active contest going on called for a mask. So hopefully you bitches are wearing your mask because the pandemic is not over. But if you want your own mask, go to our Discord, submit a design for a mask of your choosing. And we actually went ahead and got some artists to create some unique masks for us. So if you win, and we will do a little vote at the end of the week, if you win, you get your mask printed. We'll get your mask printed through Teespring, but you'll also get the commissioned mask and an IFLC mask. And so check that out. Discord, Facebook, Instagram. We are out there, and we would love to hear from you.
All of your wildest dreams will come true.
I also want to give a little plug for something you guys might not have heard of yet. And it's a little social media app coming out called Clubhouse. Check it out. Do a little bit of Googling because it will be the next big thing. But it's not for everybody. So it might be like something like TikTok where like, I don't do TikTok, but no one's going to deny that TikTok is a big thing. It's called Clubhouse. Clubhouse is an audio-only social media app that myself and Judah have been invited to start beta testing. There's a lot of celebrities on there and all that. And you will find a comic book-based IFLC club or group or whatever on there. Just keep your ear out. Google it. You'll figure it out. It's pretty dope. But you will find us on there eventually. What am I missing? I miss anything, Judah?
Nope. Thanks
you know what's
for being
even better,
here, everybody.
You know what's even better?
What's
Next
even better?
week, Respawn will be back on the show. We will have the entire crew next week. Don't forget, we'll see who's available. Any of you three are obviously welcome to come on to next week's live show if you are willing.
And she will be continuing her Dune series with Glynis. And,
Glynis is not in the chat. Is that this Friday?
I don't know. We'll get back.
We'll put it out. We'll put it out. Follow us on Twitter because the Dune book series that they're going over, they have a book club between Respawn and Glynis is live. So that'll be a live show book club on Fridays, and then of course the normal IFLC show on everything. And then also Michael Malone is writing a comic book, and I'll just say this much:
it's pretty good.
Imagine yourself if David Pepose wrote a Peter Pan story. That's it. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't write it now. It's on recording. You can't write a Peter Pan story now.
I can't promise I haven't already started.
Shit. Okay, that's all I have, Judah. Yeah, I mean that's it. Thank you guys a lot.
Thanks a lot, guys. It was a good time. It's funny how this started. It was so spontaneous. Like I just kind of barged into a Twitter conversation and was like, "Hey guys, come on our show," and you guys were all down, and that was really dope. Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to reading you guys' upcoming work. I'm a fan of everything you guys do, and we should do it again sometime. Get some coffee, maybe a drink. I think I saw Rich drinking a 40, and I was a little bit jealous.
Regular beer.
Regular beer. Oh, hey, sorry.
Only 12 ounces, Rich.
Yeah, but that was his fourth one. You guys didn't notice.
The camera.
Hey, Judah, real quick. We're about to sign off right here. Put Aramis's chat up. If you look at the last thing Aramis just said, what a dumbass. What a fucking dumbass I am. Because that's really what people fucking want. It's not $600 like our glorious government has been so kind to bestow upon us. But if you win the mask contest, if you submit a design, not only will you get the commission mask, not only will you get your own mask that you designed for free, but you also get $30 to Comixology to buy all of the works of the creators that you have on the show today, if you want to. All right, that's it.
Awesome. Cool. Take care. Be safe. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Wash your damn hands. And just be an all around nice, safe, happy human being. Read comics. Peace out.
See ya.
See you, gang.